morning. We have a number of speakers here to speak to you in regards to a number of goods that have been seized in an ongoing project. We have Staff Inspector Bryce Evans, Unit Commander of the Financial Crimes Unit. We have Toronto North Detachment Commander in charge of federal enforcement from the RCMP O Division, Inspector Todd Gilmore. We have Lauren Lipkus with Kestenberg, Siegel, and Lipkus. Detective Andrea Cheddis from the Financial Crimes Unit, along with Detective Rob Whalen of 55 Division. At this time, I'd like to invite Staff Inspector Evans to the podium.
Just so you understand the format, after we're done here, the officers will be available for any one-on-one stand-ups. It'll be at your convenience to help you and assist you in some of the product displays, okay? Law enforcement agencies and the intellectual property rights holders are well aware that during the holiday seasons, there is a significant increase of counterfeit items sold as the actual product in retail stores and also online shopping. The majority of the general public believe that counterfeit goods are a few luxury handbags, watches, and novelty t-shirts being sold as knockoffs on street corners and flea markets. The fact is that counterfeit products available today are much more diverse and ranges from luxury items such like designer clothing, handbags, health and beauty products, medication, children's toys, cigars, auto parts, and electronic goods. The majority of these items come in direct contact with the consumer's skin, hair, facial area, eyes, and are also being ingested. In July 2012, the Canadian Chamber of Commerce published a report which revealed that the value of infringing goods continues to grow at an alarming rate, and that goods manufactured in China continues to account for 80% of the items sold in Canada. 30% of those counterfeit products pose a serious health and safety risk to Canadians. A published report by the Anti-Counterfeit group revealed that counterfeiters do not invest in research and development, and they do not comply with any of the safety regulations and standards. They are only concerned to produce the counterfeits that appear like the real product so that the items be worth selling on the open market, either to the consumers who are innocently after a bargain or to consumers who deliberately choose to buy fake goods. Tests conducted on a popular counterfeit Canadian jacket revealed that the down in the jacket contained unhealthy elements, including bacteria, mildew, and chicken parts. The trim around the hoods contained a variety of furs, including that of German Shepherds. Police investigations and intelligence indicates that the counterfeit trade in Toronto is pervasive and lucrative market for the criminals. The profits from counterfeiting have been linked to funding organized crime and terrorist activity. In November 2012, understanding that counterfeit products not only have negative consequences for the economy, industry, and government, but they are also posing a serious health and safety risk to the general public, the Toronto Police Service Financial Crimes Unit and 55 Major Crime Unit partnered with other law enforcement agencies and the private sector to launch an investigation known as Project Consumer Safety. This project targeted businesses in Toronto, Peel Region, and York Region who are selling counterfeit products that potentially pose health and safety risks to the public, including children. The following law enforcement agencies and private industry participated in Project Consumer Safety: the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, York Regional Police, Peel Regional Police, the law firm of Kestenberg, Siegel, and Lipkus, Microsoft, Backlit Resource Group, and the Underwriters Laboratory. The success of this investigation included the arrest of 10 persons and the seizure of over $3 million in counterfeit product, is one of the largest seizures in the Toronto Police Service history, which was the direct result of law enforcement and the private sector sharing information, investigative techniques, and resources. I want to reassure the public that the Toronto Police Service, law enforcement agencies, and the intellectual property right holders are committed to strengthening our partnerships to combat against persons and organized crime groups who victimize Canadians from counterfeit products that potentially pose a health and safety risk to them. I would like to now introduce Inspector Todd Gilmore of the RCMP.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Inspector Todd Gilmore. I am the officer in charge of the RCMP Toronto North Detachment and the Greater Toronto Area Federal Enforcement Section. Our mandate encompasses 270 federal statutes, but our main priority is intellectual property crime and counterfeit goods. I personally would like to commend the Toronto Police Service for their leadership in last week's counterfeiting operation. Keep in mind, all counterfeit goods are dangerous. As a result of this Toronto Police Service operation, the citizens of the City of Toronto and the surrounding areas are a lot safer today. Keep these points in mind. Counterfeit goods are more than just a health and safety risk to consumers. Counterfeit goods also pose a negative impact on legitimate Canadian businesses and Canadian jobs. Also, our investigations show the trade in counterfeit goods is a highly organized criminal activity. I would like to ask everyone to keep in mind, if they choose to buy cheap counterfeit goods, you are putting your family at risk, and in addition, you are supporting organized criminal activity. Thank you.
I want to say thank you to Staff Inspector Bryce Evans and the team of officers who planned, coordinated, and ultimately executed the criminal search warrants at the businesses in question. I know that this could not have been done without partnering between the Financial Crimes Unit and the RCMP, 55 Division Major Crime, York Regional Police, Peel Regional Police, and the intellectual property rights holders. I know that a great deal of work was done by many officers, most notably by Constable Andrea Chadas, Detective Rob Whalen, Detective Sergeant Cam Field, and Detective Derek Wilson. Rights holders are constantly receiving information about counterfeit product and dealing with the protection of intellectual property rights through civil process. In fact, in the past 2 weeks alone, 15 intellectual property rights holders took part in a series of raids in the Vancouver and Toronto area, resulting in 27 businesses being served with 74 sets of cease and desist and other documents, resulting in the seizure of thousands of counterfeit products, all of which were removed from the marketplace. However, rights holders cannot enforce the criminal laws that some of the more serious counterfeiters are charged with and are dealing with. In particular, in the raids that took place last week, some of the businesses have been regularly selling large quantities of counterfeit product, notwithstanding they were served with civil enforcement documents and asked to stop. It is only through the efforts of dedicated police, like those involved in the series of raids that many of the hardcore counterfeiters can be stopped. In that regard, the rights holders that we represent want to sincerely thank the Toronto Police and all the other law enforcement and related agencies involved in the Consumer Safety Project. The table display illustrates that criminals dealing in fake Gucci, fake luxury goods, fake apparel are also dealing in counterfeit money, fake IDs, fake electrical products, fake prescription drugs, and fake dangerous toys like these that we would not want loved children to be playing with. This year, we're finding more and more a more varied variety of counterfeits than ever. The counterfeit packaging is becoming better, but the products themselves are still of extremely poor quality. And many of the counterfeit toys and counterfeit plush toy products that our children are playing with are dangerous. Some of the products seized include many items that children eagerly put into their mouth as soon as they have them. And yet we don't know what they're made of, and we don't actually know where they came from. I want to thank the media as well for constantly getting the message out that counterfeits can harm you, some of them can kill, and without this message going out, the public would be much poorer for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lauren. At this point, all of the persons charged have been released on conditions with which they must comply. They will be required to attend court on January the 17th, 2013. The charges that were laid are as follows: fraud over times 9. Possession of property obtained by crime, times 11 charges. Possession for the purpose of trafficking in stolen goods, over, times 8. Passing of wares, times 8. And selling infringing copies, times 7. We recognize that this is an ongoing investigation because of the prevalence of these counterfeit goods being available to the public. As such, we continue to look forward to arresting these individuals and putting these counterfeit goods that are for sale to end. I would like to reiterate a point that Staff Inspector Evans made. The quality of these counterfeit goods is such that it can be difficult for the average consumer to tell the difference between the counterfeit item and the real deal. I would strongly encourage shoppers, particularly as we move into the holiday gift-giving season, to be cautious when purchasing luxury and other brand name items. Simply put, if a deal seems to be too good to be true, it probably is. On a personal note, and as a parent, I was shocked to learn that children's toys could be passed off as being safe when in fact they are not. I realize times are tight and we are all looking for a deal, but we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? I would like to refer you to some of the websites that you can use in making an educated decision for you and your family, and I will make these available to you so you can refer to them. One of them is the Anti-Counterfeiting group, and that is www.a-cg.org, the International Anti-Counterfeiting Coalition, www.iacc.org, and How to Tell, Learn, Verify, and Buy with Confidence, www.microsoft.com. Thank you.
In Detective Whalen, 55 Division Major Crime Unit. I'm just going to take you on a brief tour of some of the property we've seized during this search warrant. One of the most notable things is you start off on my left. We have a large quantity of US cash, Canadian cash, and British cash. At this point, we believe the cash to be real, but it's still yet to be authenticated. But it just shows the amount of money that these counterfeiters are earning. They import some of these products in for $2 and $3 a unit and are selling them to you for hundreds. The next thing as we go is we have silver bars and gold bars. Again, if this is just simple proceeds of crime, it just shows you how much money these counterfeiters are making off the good citizens of Toronto. Next to that, we have counterfeit medication. We have Levitra, Cialis, Viagra. I don't know anyone who can condone the sale of counterfeit medication. This can and will make you ill and possibly kill you. We've had cases in Toronto and Canada as a whole where counterfeit medication has been linked to the deaths of several people. As we continue farther down, we have electrical products. Any electrical product sold within Canada must be tested by an independent third party, such as Underwriters Laboratory or Canadian Safety Standards. These products bear their marks showing that they are legitimate products. However, their marks were counterfeited. We've had them tested. If you take them apart, they're missing all the proper safety equipment, such as breakers and resistors. There is a very good chance that if you plug these into your walls at home, they will catch fire. And there have been house fires in Canada that are a direct result of counterfeit safety products. We have Duracell batteries. They are counterfeit as well. Some of the batteries that were seized at the warehouse were already still in their packages and linking chemicals out onto the ground. So if you put these in your toys or in your various household products, the chemicals and the corrosion are going to come out into your product. An interesting find was a large quantity of counterfeit identification. We have some 50 US and even some foreign country driver's licenses. What these people are using the counterfeit driver's license for, we're not sure. Is there a terrorism link here? Very much could be. most police officers that I showed these licenses to would have accepted them as real driver's licenses. We come now to a computer store that was operating in 23 Division in the northwest end of the city. This person was selling products on eBay and Kijiji, and he was listing himself as a genuine authorized Microsoft retailer. And when he sold this product, he was asking you if you would, how many licenses you would make or you would need for your product, further indicating that you were buying legitimate product. However, once you received the product in the mail, it was a recordable DVD with a white sticker with Microsoft Windows written on it, or Microsoft Office, or some of the various other products, immediately showing you they're counterfeit. Some of these DVDs recently seized in Canada have been tested and found to have had viruses pre-installed on the CDs. So when you install these on your computer, are you giving a backdoor way for organized crime to infiltrate your computer and steal your identification? We have, again, more electrical products such as this helicopter. It looks like a perfectly legit toy. However, the electrical safety markings and safety tests have not been done on this, so it's not legally saleable in Canada. Counterfeit DVDs. Again, I hear this all the time from people. Well, they're for sale everywhere. I have several friends in the movie industry who are now carpenters because the movie industry is losing money despite these big blockbusters you see. The counterfeiting is hitting the movie industry. We have footwear. We have UGG boots from the Decker company. These boots are counterfeit. They may last you 2 or 3 days, but one day halfway to school, the sole's going to fall off your shoe and you'll be spending the rest of the day with cold feet. Again, another counterfeit product. We have stuffed plush toys. We have Angry Birds on display over here. We've also seen some other stuff. We've had some of these tested in recent seizures, and they've come up with dog hair as the stuffing. The one store that was raided had the labels new material only as part of the Customs and Upholstery Act. So they imported the toys without the labels, and then they had the labels ready to put on the toys. So again, when you go to purchase it, you think you have a proper and safe toy. We have designer goods and luxury items. Some of these a person may buy at a flea market for $30. You know you're buying a counterfeit product, and if that's what you want to do, it's a criminal offense, but that's what you'll do. But we found some of these in places as high-end as Yorkdale Mall, where that same counterfeit handbag that was being sold for $30 at the flea market is being sold for $300 from a vendor in a mall. Now who knows it's real or not? Sports jerseys. We've seized hundreds of sports jerseys in this particular raid. Problems we have with articles of clothing that touch your skin is the dyes that make up the colors in these jerseys. We don't know the safety protocols that went through in the manufacturing. We've had some dyes that are tested that come back with chemicals in them. We've had dyes that come back tested with urine traces in the dye. Do you want that on your loved one's body? Again, I'd just like to thank all the other services that assisted us, the RCMP, York Regional Police, Peel Regional Police, the intellectual property rights holders as represented by Mr. Lipkis. We have Underwriters Laboratory here. Without your assistance, this would not have been possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This concludes the conference. All of our speakers will be available for one-on-one interviews, and please take this opportunity to view some of the goods. Thank you. Yeah. The video that you've been seeing, I'll be putting it on YouTube. We'll upload this video onto YouTube, so you will have access to it, as well as the news release with all the charges.
fake sock. Fake socks with dog fur.
We're going to upload it to YouTube.
Thanks, Scotty.
I'm just gonna, we're still live here. I'm gonna walk.
Froze up.